What's good, YouTube? Welcome to my channel, Lies in Conditioning. Mr. Beast is facing controversy and Nikocado has pulled the greatest Uno reverse card maybe of all time. It is truly a crazy time to be alive, and this is not the first time Mr. Beast has faced controversy. Probably because of all let's just be honest, really odd and weird things that he does. Like putting people in some sort of locker room, or trying to have people fight for a yacht or a Lambo or something else. While he does sometimes at least manage to help people, a lot of the time is some really weird PR stunts that doesn't really make a lot of sense. But this is how he makes his living, by doing all these sorts of really weird and outlandish things. Back in the day, so to speak, just a couple of years ago even, Nikocado used to make his money from eating himself into an early grave. Nikocado claims to this being one big social experiment. If you ask me, that's just not the case. He probably lost control of what he was doing because he got caught up and he has to eat all this food to make his income, because that's where he started to gain his money and attention from. So he may have feared if he stopped doing it, he would stop having an income, and if he stopped having income, of course he wouldn't be able to pay rent or none of those other things that we all have to pay for. He lost a bunch of weight. He actually lost 250 pounds in the span of 2 years, which averages out to a little over 10 pounds per week, which is absolutely insane. Think of the amount of people who wants to lose 10 or 20 pounds but can't do so in half a year or 2 years time. And then think about he done that on average on a weekly basis for 2 years straight. And this is absolutely insane. If we think about it in terms of like how many calories in a deficit that would require him to be on a weekly basis, that would be 30,500 per week, or 5,000 every single day. The recommendations for most people in terms of caloric energy would be about 2,000 to 2,500 every single day. So that means in terms of being in a deficit, he was in a deficit that was equal or slightly above of what 2 people would have to eat in order to maintain their weight. This is insane. At one point I want to know what he did to lose all this weight. On the other hand, I don't want to know, simply because I know what it takes. I thought it was pretty good that I lost 80 pounds or so in the span of 18 months. I did it slow and steady to maintain my strength in the gym and potentially build some more. I know what I had to do in all this time, and having to lose 3 times as much in a just 6 months longer time frame, that is insane. He has clearly went to extreme lengths to have lost all this weight in this amount of time. It is just not a very good, possibly even healthy way he have done it. To put his weight loss into perspective, 250 pounds, that is more than what most people should even weigh in the first place. Unless you're around like 7 feet tall, you shouldn't even be close to 250. You really shouldn't, at least not if you have some concern for your health. It's a lot, especially to have lost that. He has lost more than an entire person. Like, think about that. Think of your brother, sister, a friend or something like that. Whatever they weigh, probably at that level or less. And then think about that's how much weight Nikocado has removed from his body. That's a lot. He claims this was a plan all along, which I find insane and ridiculous. If you plan on getting yourself to a point where you have to lose 250 pounds and then to lose it again, and then not only after having lost it, then go straight back into what caused you to gain all that weight, aka doing the mukbangings, because his very first video showcasing his weight loss, he goes straight into mukbang in his very first video. He claims it was a social experiment all along, and I call bullshit on that. While it's too early to tell, it does appear like this cycle for Nikocado is going to repeat itself all over, as he went straight back into the mukbanging. And this is what caused him to gain the massive amount of weight in the first place. Now the question is, can he do the mukbanging and not get to a point where he becomes massively overweight once more? Everyone who has been overweight knows the struggle, not just of losing the weight, but once you have lost the weight, also to keep it off and not sliding back into the old habits, because it's really easy to listen to that voice in the back of your head to say like, it's okay, you can take a day off, or you can do this, or you can eat the cake, or whatever it might be, and then slide back. And you may not notice necessarily the first 10 pounds, maybe with the first 20 pounds, but once it gets to the point of you having potentially regained 20 pounds, that's when you're going to start noticing how your clothes sits worse. It doesn't feel right. If you feel heavier, you burn more energy or oxygen when you're walking than what you did just a few months ago. So you're going to notice it. I do not believe for a second that all of this big charade has been planned by Nikocado. He may have lost all this weight, but is he actually in control? Is he really completely out of control? Thank you for watching. Lost in Conditioning, signing out. I hope you have an awesome day.